सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Good evening and good morning. Welcome back to our Upanishad classes. I got a lot of feedback that the subject matter is very difficult to digest. So slow down. So we'll slow down a little bit further. And also, if you have any questions, please feel free to discuss that during the Q&A, or please send a note in the chat. So we were studying the Mudaka Upanishad. Today is the fourth session. We started the second Mudaka, and on the first and second portion of the second Mudaka, we were trying to understand the nature of Brahman. Brahman means it is the absolute reality of the universe. So please don't carried away by the word Brahman. So many people, the questions I'm getting from that, I see that a lot of people are taking Brahman as Brahmaji. Please understand that Brahmaji is different from Brahman. Brahmaji means it is God in the form of creator. So whenever the creative potential of the universe is known as Brahmaji, whereas Brahman is the fundamental reality, the uncaused cause, the absolute reality that sustains, in which the universe exists, into which the universe finally merges back. That is the reality, right? We talked about so many examples. One of the key point, how do you know the Brahman? Because if you really go back and contemplate, the Upanishad started with a fundamental question. What was that fundamental question? What is the most essential knowledge one needs to gain? So, if you want to understand from where, what is the fundamental cause of everything? That's what the Upanishad is seeking. What is that fundamental substance which is not dependent upon anything? Everything else is dependent upon it. That is the way to express it. Upanishads came back and said that right now we don't know. It's an unknown for us. It's like a problem we need to solve. Let's assume that it's a variable, and the whole journey of the spirituality is nothing but solving that for that variable. Now, how to solve that variable? That variable is given as Om or Brahman or whatever it is. That is a name given to that absolute reality. The variable name is Om. Om is nothing but a sound syllable that is used to represent the absolute reality. So please understand that. So just like when you solve an arithmetic problem, use the variable x, y, z, alpha, theta, gamma. Just like that, in the Vedanta, in the landscape of spirituality, we are doing a problem solving. And right now we don't know what exactly is the absolute, the nature of the reality is. And we want to represent that reality with a sound syllable. And that sound syllable is called Om. And solving the value of the Om is the entire spiritual journey. Just get that idea in our head very clearly. Now, why I got another question, which I'm going to answer quickly right now. We can elaborate that. Why they picked up the word Om? Why didn't they use XYZ? First of all, XYZ is not means that was not the language we used. Right? Alpha, beta, gamma, pi, those were the words you see in the Western science, which inherited from the Greek language. Like that, from Sanskrit, we chose a syllable which the rishis thought would properly represent the scope of the content it is representing. So the word Om came from, it's a word compound created with 3 syllable letters. When we go to Mandukya Upanishad, we will understand this later, but this is a quick introduction. If you say A plus U plus M, that is, if you add these 3 letters syllables together, you get the word Om. A plus U plus M. So why they chose Om? To represent Brahman, which is the biggest in the world, which is the most fundamental reality of the universe. The answer is simple. What is the speciality of the word A? If you open your mouth and make a sound, it is A. A. That's it. If you close your mouth and make a sound, in between, if you make a sound, it's oo, oo. Look at that. So using these 3 ways only, we make every sound. Combination of these is this is how you make all the sound in the universe. So if you take these 3, it symbolically represents every word you can create with your mouth. So everything you refer to in the universe is nothing but Brahman. So the rishis thought the combination of these 3 letters added together, represented by Om, is the right variable to represent the scope of a Brahman, which is nothing but everything in the universe. Hope it is clear. So this is why Om came in. Now the solving of the Om, that is the whole theme of the second Mudaka. First, the Rishi said, right? What exactly you can see in front of you? Millions and billions of objects and forms. Can you look that fundamental reality in these billions and millions of forms, right from the sun and the moon and the star, to the plant and the animal, to the micro side, you have the atom, subatomic particle, everything. And if you take the internal world, you have your emotions and thoughts. Can you find the Brahman in any one of these things? Look at that, because you're trying to find something. This is not very complicated. So please listen carefully. And if you don't understand, let's debate and discuss, right? So suppose you want to find something, where exactly you are looking for and what exactly you are looking for, you need to understand. Suppose I drop my pen. I know that I was sitting in this room. So scope where I look is this room, right? And what I look for is, I'll tell somebody, okay, it's a pen. If that person doesn't know pen, I'll say that it is 5-inch long, gray color, round shape, etc. So they look all the objects around, look for that particular lakshana, and if it sees, they will find it. So here we are trying to look for Brahman. Now, what exactly are the scope or the scope of the field of our inquiry? As human beings, it is the physical world around us. It is the mental world around us. We cannot find anything more. Correct? So the physical world, using my karanas, meaning my sense organs, I can search. Or you can use upakarana to enhance your skills of your sense organs. For example, if it is a planetary body, I cannot look for it. So I may use a telescope. That is what is upakarana. Upakarana means you enhance the skill of a karana. Karana means sense organs. Second realm of inquiry is my mental world, my thoughts, my emotions, and everything. And the third means of knowledge is what? I can infer something. I need not go somewhere, but based on the facts I know, I can infer something. So this is known as pratyaksha and anumana. So in all these areas, I am looking for Brahman. Now, I understood the scope or the place I need to search. Second thing is that I need to know the lakshana. The lakshana I need to search, right? So last time we talked about that lakshana. That lakshana was very important. What exactly we are looking as Brahman? So this is what? The nature of the Brahman in the objects you are looking for. It has to be ekam.
Get off my bed.
Who said?
Daddy, besides not getting off my bed.
I don't know. If you're not speaking, please go on mute. Thank you. Okay, exactly last week or so, exactly on the same slide we got break in the flow. Anyway, that's fine. That's all fun. So ekam. Ekam means it has to be presented. It has to be present in everything you are looking for. So look at the scope. From the planetary bodies, from the plant kingdom, animal kingdom, oceans, everywhere, any object I see, there should be that common factor. So I cannot say that this pen is Brahman because pen is not there in this bottle. So I need to find something common which is there in this pen and in that bottle. Makes sense, right? So if somebody give me a ring and a chain, if I look for the ring in the chain, I cannot find the ring in the chain. But there is a common factor which I can find in ring as well as the chain. What is that? Gold. So I can say that ekatvam between the ring, chain, and the necklace and everything is gold. I can say that the ekatvam between the flower vase and like a pot and a big pot, large pot is clay. I can say that that which is common in a big wave, large wave, small wave, like an ocean, everything is water. So like that, whatever you see in the physical world, whatever you see in the mental world, there has to be something which is there, which you can trace in every one of that. That is ekam. Second one is nityam. Nityam means it should be always there. You cannot say that this was not there yesterday. So if I take this pen was not there yesterday. If I take the ring was not there yesterday, but the gold was there yesterday. So this is nityam. The third one is satyam. Satyam means it should be independently existing. If I take the pen is depending upon plastic. What is plastic? Plastic is dependent upon something else, and that depends upon something else. So no, that cannot fit into the definition of Brahman. Look at these four are the lakshanas of Brahman. So when you look for Brahman, you need to identify these things. And last is sarvagat, should be all pervading. So when you look these lakshanas in all the objects, very soon you will find that, sorry, I cannot directly see anything, but I can infer, or the Upanishads tells me that everything exists. The pen exists, the bottle exists, the mouse exists, the microphone exists, the phone exists, everything exists. So we concluded that existence of every object is Brahman. When I say existence, some people get confused. Don't get too much confused. It's easy. Can I say that the existence of the golden ornament or the ring is gold, chain is gold, necklace is gold, because without gold, the chain will not exist. Without gold, the ring will not exist. Without gold, the necklace will not exist. So we can say that without that Om or Brahman, nothing in this universe exists. To make it very clear, I gave an example. The projection of a movie in a screen. In the movie, you seems to have the mountains, the water, the person, the car, the road, everything. Everything appears to exist. But what exactly is the real existence? It is the light. If the light is not there, the mountain will not exist. Just like that, without gold, the golden ornament will not exist. Without clay, none of the clay pots or nothing will exist. Like that, everything in this universe exists because of one common factor, and that one common factor is known as Brahman, the reality. And this aspect of the Brahman is known as Satta or Sat. This is very important. Any questions? This is very important. This is what we saw. Now, how do we find this existence? Because I see the movie, but I don't see the light. I see the ornament, but I fail to see the gold. I see the mud pots, but I fail to see the mud. Swami Chinmayananda used to make a big joke. He said that if a mud pot says that, look at these fools, they're calling me mud. I'm not mud. I cannot find mud in me. Swamiji said, if a mud pot says that, we will just confirm that he's a muddy pot. That's it. So this is what the existence. So it is not easy to see that existence. It is not easily visible. It is not directly conceivable through our sense organs. But logically, it is not very difficult that there is one fundamental existence. And this is what is known as Advaita Vedanta. One and non-dually one. Everything is, the existence of everything is one. That is why we call it as Advaita Vedanta. One and non-dually one. Dvaita means two, more than one. Advaita means what? Not more than one. It's one. Language of negation. So this is what is Brahman. Now the question is, so the isness or Satta is Brahman. So that is the first point the Rishi established. Now, what is the second point? The second point is that, so I cannot define Brahman? Is that what you're saying? No, there is another aspect. So let's see. That is the theme of today's discussion. So let's go back to the second topic. Chit eva Brahman. So now the Rishi tells, this is the second section of the second Mudaka. The focus is on Chit, and there are 11 mantras. Now, the thing is that, where did we stop last time? Pure Brahman is pure absolute existence. And it is not directly knowable. Right? So this is like a step-by-step exposition. So please pay attention and try to understand the logical flow. Otherwise, we'll miss it. So we found that Brahman, or the reality, or the Om, is the pure absolute existence. When you say the word absolute, what? It is not dependent upon anything else. If it is relative existence, means what? Okay, I can say that atom, the pen has a relative existence on atom, but atom itself is dependent upon something else for its existence. So whereas there is nothing else for Brahman, that is why Swami Chinmayananda used to call it as uncaused cause. It's a word he coined. Beautiful. So pure existence is not directly knowable. But there is something in me which I know. What is that? I know that I also exist. Do you need any certificate or any proof that I exist? It's always in my awareness. What exactly is my feeling of I? That will be different from different people to people and time to time, right? In a dream also, I feel that I exist. Of course, as a dream person. Right now, I feel that I exist. I am the observer. Right now, means I am the seer. I see everything else. So the logic here is, if everything is in the universe is Brahman, the reality, this observer is also a Brahman, the reality. So I, the consciousness in me, because when I say I, if you close your eyes and think, who am I? The thinker is the I, right? When I say I am referring to the thinker or that conscious entity. That is what is I. So that I is also that existence, and that I, which is the consciousness in me, is known as Chit. So we can say that Chit is also Sat. Everything is Sat. Since everything is Sat, the Chit is also Sat. The consciousness is also Sat. And we already proved that Sat is Brahman. And now we are saying that Chit is Sat. And therefore, transitive dependency. A is equal to B, B equal to C. Then I can say that A equal to C. So with that logic, I can say that Aham, which is the consciousness in me, is Brahman. So that is how you get the Mahavakya, Aham Brahma Asmi. At least theoretically, it's clear, right? It's not that difficult if you follow the logic. So this is, let's continue. So there is one good example. Again, I'm borrowing Swami Chinmayananda. He was one of the great master who made these wonderful examples. So look at this world. Look at this right-hand side. You can see hundreds of electrical appliances. There is a refrigerator, there is a microwave, there is a laptop, there is a washing machine, there is a mixer, everything, right? All these are different. But what exactly makes these devices functional? It is electricity. So, the consciousness, don't conclude that consciousness is electricity. Consciousness is like that. There is a Bala, there is a Jina, there is a Rohitji, there is like a lot of people sitting in this class, 21 people sitting in this class. And if you really look at, billions of human beings are there. Billions of animals are there. Billions of plants are there. What is that one factor common in all living beings? It is life, consciousness, and that consciousness is Brahman. Now, one more question. How many consciousness are there? How many electrical equipments are there? Billions. How many electricity is there? Only one electricity. Therefore, from an absolute perspective, there is only one consciousness. Right? So now you may ask, why Rajesh is different from Sanjay? Is the refrigerator same as the fan? The difference is not in the electricity. The electricity is one, The electricity expresses through like a cold air in AC, as beautiful music through a sound system, as a beautiful visual through a projector, as a beautiful recorder in everything. So Sanjay is different from Rajesh. Rajesh is different from a dog. Einstein is different from me. Because the body is different, the mind is different, all those skills are different. So can I say that electricity in a fan, there are two, let's say that two computers are there. One is a computer with an old processor, with a small amount of RAM, and whenever I open up something, it gets hangs every time. And I have a high-end computer on the other side, which is everything goes like this. Can I say that electricity is not good here, electricity is not good there? Not at all. So you may see difference in performance, you may see difference in personality, you may see difference in expression, but the underlying consciousness is one. So the consciousness which reflects through the body and the mind expresses itself differently in different equipments. Just like electricity expresses itself differently through different electrical equipments, like that, the one consciousness expresses itself in different way through different equipments. Now the question is, without electrical equipments, you may not be able to see electricity. The way you see electricity is how? Through the expression of electricity. Of course, electricity you can touch and go and open the wire and put your hand, that's a different matter. These are the limitations with all the examples. But here you're saying that the expression of the electricity reveals the presence of the electricity. Like that, expression of life, even if you are in coma, as long as life is there, you have consciousness. So that is how consciousness. Now, let me pause here. Those who are in medical field, you may have a little bit of different understanding. Modern science, up until now, the definition of consciousness, we need to make it very clear. In the neurology, the definition of consciousness is what? It is a property of the brain. That is not how Vedanta defines. See, you can define a word in whatever way you want. So you need to understand the meaning, how it is defined. So the Vedantic definition of consciousness is that by which you are aware of your thought, emotions, and feelings. That's what it is. And this consciousness is one thing, and this consciousness is Brahman. So this Brahman, the reality, Om, which is there as existence of everything, and that is also the consciousness. This is the Chit aspect of the Brahman. Let's continue. So now, a few more points. So the first one is, consciousness is in the body, but it is not a part of the body. It is called Vilakshanam. Vilakshanam means, don't carry away with the Sanskrit terms. I'm just telling the Sanskrit terms because it is used in the Upanishad. So just like that, think about the electricity is in the bulb, but is that a part of the bulb? Absolutely not. Then invisible. It is not visible by the sense organs, the consciousness. The third one is, it is eternal. When the body gets destroyed, the consciousness will not die. This is where there is a difference between the conventional science and Vedanta. But now, you might have heard the famous discussion in the scientific community. You can Google it as the hard problem of consciousness. So up until now, the whole scientific community believed that consciousness is an intrinsic part of the body. But recently, at least a few scientists started believing that no, consciousness is not part of the body. It is beyond that. So you can Google it. I believe that there is a Dr. David Chammer. He is the one who proposed it. He teaches here in our NYU. You can Google it. His papers are very famous. His books are very famous. And this is, you can even Google it as the hard problem of consciousness. More and more scientists are believing and appreciating this thought. And then there is only one consciousness. So ekam, nityam, then what? It is not a swatantram and agocharam and vilakshanam. This is the qualities of this consciousness. Now, the next topic is, so now, what is this consciousness? For that, you need to understand who am I, right? So this is, again, thanks to Swami Chinmayananda, he only came up with this brilliant diagram. This is known as the BMI chart. So you have a body, you have a mind, you have an intellect, and under that you have a lot of mental impression. And there is something that illuminates the body, mind, and intellect. So just like a computer has a hardware, a software, electricity behind that illuminates the hardware and software, right? So for example, I'm using Prezi right now. That Prezi or the PowerPoint, whatever it is, it gives the look and feel of my screen. That is a software. But there is a hardware also. So when I have the hardware loaded with software, enlivened by or energized by the electricity, I see the whole computer functioning. Like that, every human being has a physical body, has a subtle body, which includes his mind. The subtle body can be considered like a software, whereas the physical body can be considered like a hardware. And the hardware and software will be useless unless there is an electricity behind that. So like that, my body and the mind will not function when the consciousness is not there. So the consciousness is the real I. Typically, a person, when I talk about I, his definition or her definition or my definition or your definition on the scope of I is different. What is the definition? It includes my body, because I feel that my body is me, my mind is me, and I consider myself as a compound entity which consisting of my body, mind, and senses. Vedanta tells, no, body and mind are equipments given to you. You are really consciousness, and death means what? You are just leaving your body and mind, and the consciousness will not be over. So this is very important. So the consciousness, you cannot understand that as an external object. It is you, your own true nature, and that is you, and that is different from your body, and that is different from your mind. See, look at the flow. Don't lose the flow, right? So we started with, we wanted to understand what is that fundamental reality of the universe. We said the nature of the fundamental reality. We saw the Lakshana, right? Ekam, Nityam, Satyam, Sarvagadam, like that. So that we were trying to look in everything that we have access to, right? That is the scope. And with the scope, we were trying to look for that Brahman, the reality based upon the Lakshana. And we found that the only thing that satisfies the definition is the existence of all objects. And since I cannot directly find that, I see that my own consciousness also has existence, and that is Brahman. And what is the nature of that consciousness? This is how we came here. I know that this is not an easy subject, but if you follow the flow, if you follow the logical sequence, you will understand. And don't worry, this is the theme of all Upanishads. This is what we are going to repeat. And this is there in the Bhagavad Gita also. So The next point is the true meaning of the word I is consciousness, because true mean usually the word I is taken for the body, mind, and the intellect. So I am consciousness. Consciousness is Brahman. So that is why Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi. This is what it is. So now, after going this much, the Upanishad gives a beautiful example. What is the role of Brahman? What is my individuality? And how I need to get connected to. So the Upanishad talks about 3 objects. The first one is, it's a bow, arrow, and a target. This is a very good example. So the arrow represents the individual, me, you, everybody, Jiva. The arrow, the goal is, the target is the Brahman, the reality. And what is the goal? The arrow wants to get united with the target, exactly on the bullseye. So for that, the arrow needs to have some conditions. First one is that arrow need to be sharp. Otherwise, when it hit, it will not stick there. So the arrow needs to be sharp. It is to be pointed. It has to be well directed. When the arrow is sharp, pointed, and well directed, it will hit the bullseye and it will stay there. Now, how the individual can get connected with Brahman? So as an individual, I need to make sure that I have a sharp intellect, I think, and I am very focused, pointed, well directed. Pointed means I am committed to this practice. Sharp means I do the karma yoga, upasana yoga, all the sadhanas. So I'm ready. As an arrow, I'm ready. Now, what is the bow? The bow is the Vedantic teaching, Upanishad teaching. So this Vedantic teaching will direct the individual in me to the target, or connect me to the target, which is the absolute reality, Brahman. This is such a beautiful example. So this is there, the second chapter concludes with this. So these are the key teaching, and I wanted to just introduce one mantra which is famous in the second portion. Most of you might have heard this mantra. It is Natatra Suryo Bhati Na Chandra Tarakam. Right? Have you heard of this mantra? This is a very popular mantra.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Bonaji, do you mind chanting? Any one of you can chant? I'll just explain the meaning after that.
Yeah. I need the lyrics.
No worries, no worries. So
I can do that.
Yeah, please go ahead, Anu.
Yeah.
Anu, go ahead.
Natad bhasayate surya.
No, that is different, Anu.
What was
that? Is Bhagavad Gita. This is Natatra Suryo Bhati Na Chandra Tarakam. Neya Vidyu Bhanti Kutokamasti. So that it means, so I'll give you the background. So if you go to any temple, especially the South Indian temple, you see the priest take a what do you call, a tray, and they put some camphor in that, and they do the arati. How do they do the arati? They go to the sanctum sanctorium, and it will be fully dark, and what he does as part of the arati is slowly reveals a portion of the God, right? His face, his hands, like that. And while he just rotates this plate and slowly, step by step, some priests are very skilled, real priests are real skilled. They just show this in a very systematic fashion. And while he shows, he chants this mantra. This is from the Mudaka Upanishad. What does that mean? It tells the sun cannot shine the Brahman or the consciousness, because The sun's shyness, the sun is shining because of consciousness. Nor moon, nor star, nor any light. See, the sun cannot shine, overpower or shine the consciousness because, or the Brahman, because the shining capacity of the sun, the light of the sun is nothing but consciousness or the Brahman, the reality. The light of the moon is nothing but the reality, the Brahman, the reality. The light of the star is nothing but Brahman, the reality. So, O Lord, or O Bhagavan, you cannot, means the sun cannot reveal you, the moon cannot reveal you, the stars cannot reveal you, which are the big sources of light. Then what about this small lamp? But still I am attempting that. So this is a prayer that comes from that understanding, right? So when he shines, when Brahman is there, everything will shine after him. Look at the wording. That is so beautiful. By Brahman's light, everything else is lighted. This is what the nature of the prayer. This is the nature of the arati. It's so beautiful. This is the whole idea. So the idol or the vigraha of the Lord is slowly revealed. And while he say that this is only symbolic. I'm trying to show you to the people in front of you, but really speaking, who can reveal you? I'm trying to reveal you with a small light, but even the big sources of the light, the sun and the moon and the stars cannot reveal you. In fact, every source of light is from you, Lord. So, my salutations. This is such a beautiful prayer. These are the prayers we need to study and understand. So this is what the meaning of what the priest does in the temple. And this mantra, this famous mantra, of course, that is a Vedic mantra. This mantra comes from 11th mantra of the Mudaka Upanishad. Some books say it's 10th mantra. Some book tells it's 11. So it's fine because in some versions of the book, they combine two mantras. That's why it is. So 10 or 11, whatever you want, it is. You can cause it. So that covers the second chapter of the Upanishad. Now there is only one more session. We can cover the whole Mudaka Upanishad. The next session is we are going to talk about some sadhanas. So that will be very simple to understand. So don't worry about that. So what we talked about today is how to find Brahman, how to locate Brahman, right? That was the whole theme of the second chapter. We said, right now we understand that the absolute reality which sustains the universe is Brahman, and how to find that Brahman. So we've understood the lakshana of the Brahman, just like, right? I said, like, if I lose a pen, how do I locate that pen in the whole things? I define the lakshana of the pen and I tell the scope. So like that, whatever physical, mental, intellectual realm world we have access to, we are looking for Brahman, right? And looking for Brahman. And how? With this lakshana. Ekam, Nityam, Satyam, Sarvagatam, Swatantram. This is the four lakshanas. And I could not locate in any object. But I found that the existence of every object has these qualities or these lakshanas. And therefore, I concluded that existence is Brahman. If existence is Brahman, I cannot see existence. I can see the table, but I cannot easily locate the existence. So how do I experience Brahman? Or how do I know Brahman? The Rishi tells, there is an easy way. There is only thing that you directly know is yourself, your existence. That is, you are conscious about yourself. If every existence is Brahman, the consciousness is also Brahman. And today, we understood the nature of the consciousness. the vilakshanam, meaning it is part of the body, it is in the body, but it is not part of the body. Second thing is that it is it enlivens the body. Third one is when the body dies, it won't die. So all those things we saw, and we saw that I, which is the consciousness in me, is the definition of the true I. And I am consciousness, aham chittaha, right? Aham chittaha. And then we saw that chittaha sattaha. Chit is existence. I am consciousness. Consciousness is existence. And existence is Brahman. Therefore, I am Brahman. Aham Brahma Asmi. This is how the Mahavakya we derive. And that is the whole second chapter of Mudaka Upanishad. Let's do the closing prayer and go to the Q&A mode. Bonaji, if you don't mind, we can do the closing prayer, Purnamada, and then we can go back to
Okay.
Q&A.
Om Purnamadam Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shantis Shantis Shantihi Harihi Om.